now, since the beginning of the year, over 1,700 videos are uploaded in the alternative media on the topic of flat earthism. Every month, over 4,200. Since January of this year, over 20,000 videos have been uploaded on the subject. As if a switch was turned on, flat earth psychosis began to commence in a wave beginning in January, as the statistics empirically show. At this rate, by the end of the year, more videos will have been uploaded on this subject than on any other in alternative media, and that's not by mistake. This is part of the plan by the bad guys behind this bullshit movement. The two flat earth societies behind this topic have memberships that are less than 1,000 members. So it's not difficult to figure out that there are organizations behind this crap, helping to push what has become the biggest psyop in alternative media in recent memory. Well-known established members of the alternative community have recently jumped on the flat earth bandwagon, revealing to the alternative community they have always been COINTELPRO shills, working for the NWO. All the evidence suggests this is a highly organized and planned bombardment of the alternative media community to dilute it, distract it, and make those a part of it look like fools by association. Flat Earth fucktardery is not some new enigma. It's been around for a long time, appearing every couple of decades or so in a wave. To promote the agenda, recruit adherents, and to keep the lie alive. In order to understand what you are being confronted with, we must examine the history and the roots of this mental aberration. We must forensically examine the nucleus of this social nuisance at its core and source. At the root of flat earthism is Bible theism, and this is the reason why flat earthers reject all evidence that contradicts their bullshit. 99% of flat earthers are Bible theists, believing the psychosis is found in Bible script. Not just any type of Bible theism, for you will find that this bullshit begins and originates in Catholic, papal, dogma. The flat earth leaders and talking heads utilize what is no less than the construct invented by the Nazi Joseph Goebbels, who created the form of modern propaganda utilized by the bad guys today. If you tell a lie enough times, the masses will begin to believe it. Peer consensus, and the power of mass suggestion, formulates how flat earth ideology is seeded and grown amongst theists. The utilization of reverse psychology is a tool that has been used in flat earth propaganda. This is seen no more than in the flat earthers' explanation of recorded history in regards to their psychosis. Their claim is that the world had believed in a flat earth up until the last 500 years. Since then, the bad guys designated as the Freemasons, and in particular, NASA, are the origin of the belief in a spherical, round Earth. This, of course, is utter bullshit. The belief in a round spherical Earth is over 3,000 years old. The universal belief in a round Earth is over 2,600 years since the time of Plato. This remained until the 1st century AD and the beginnings of the New Testament Christian Church. It's within the first couple of centuries of the new era that popes, monks, and members of the Universal Church clergy began to promulgate and enforce flat earth fucktardism en masse. It was during the Middle Ages that the term plagiarism was created to describe the psychological phobia of falling over the edge of a flat, Earth. This fact alone debunks the idea that Catholic geocentricity has no relationship to flat Earth dogma, for in reality they are both one and the same in ideology. Using reverse psychology, flat earthers demonize victims of the Catholic Inquisition during the Middle Ages, claiming the victims are the bad guys with their crime being science. Rabid fundamental theists have been programmed by their leaders and bullshit orthodoxy to reject and anathematize science. Thus, victims of Catholic persecution such as Kepler, Galileo, Bruno, and Copernicus are demonized and made out to be the bad guys, whilst the real enemy, the papacy of the day, is exonerated through non-mention. After all, theists stick by and protect their fellow theotards, even if they are murderers and criminals, because the Book of Babel tells them to do so. A favorite target of flat earth fucktards is Isaac Newton, who pioneered the theory of gravity, claiming Sir Isaac was a bad guy because he was a member of a secret society, namely being a fellow of Cambridge, a common and non-secret status for anyone who has been the head of a department there. Yet they ignore the fact that Isaac Newton was himself persecuted by the Catholic Church. Isaac began as a highly religious and devout Catholic Christian, but he deconverted from the religion after years of intense study into its dogma and the facts he uncovered regarding the fabrication of the New Testament. This automatically made him an enemy of the papacy. He wrote over 60,000 words during his lifetime condemning doctrines such as the Trinity and wholesale manipulations of New Testament script by Catholic scribes. Many of these writings were not published and released until after Newton's death, because of Isaac's position at Cambridge, and because of the Catholic Inquisition. Men such as Galileo, who rebelled against the egocentric dogmas of the Catholic Church, was sentenced to life imprisonment, but commuted to house arrest for the rest of his life. Other men such as Giordano Bruno were not as lucky. Bruno was sentenced to death by the Catholic Church for his rebellion against Catholic geocentric dogma. Bruno was burned at the stake in 1600 in a Roman town square. The Catholic clergy who overlooked his execution on behalf of the papacy deemed it merciful for Bruno by placing a bag over his head full of gunpowder before they lit the fire. But before they had done this, they had taken a spike and a hammer and nailed Bruno's tongue to his jaw to keep him silent. His crime? He claimed Copernicus's cosmological model correct. Papal persecution against opponents of Catholic theism geocentricity continued up to at least the 18th century. Because of the advent of the Reformation and beginning of the Protestant movement, the Inquisition was not able to be used any longer by the papacy to enforce their madness.